everybody, in this video we are going to be talking about your underground utility locate paint markings and what they mean and how to use them and how to dig around them with your excavator.
Alright, here is an example of what a marked area will look like after the locate is done. And here is what those colors mean. Now, this is a little card that came from South Carolina 811. This is a uniform color code guide. So the colors are pretty much the same from state to state, but you might want to check with your 811 before getting going. So the first one you're going to see on the card there is your proposed excavation. Now, if you look over at the picture, there's a little dashed circle drawn around that bush there. Now, I'm assuming the bush wasn't there, and that's why they called in for the locate, was so they could dig this hole and plant that bush. So the excavator, the person actually doing the digging after he made the call, walked out here and marked his area that he's going to be digging in. Now, this could be a much, much larger area. For us, most of the time, we're just calling in an address or a lot or something, and they'll mark pretty much that whole lot, that whole address. Now, the next one on here is going to be this pink. Now, that's your temporary survey marks. Surveyors are typically not going to use dashes for anything, but you might see a pink triangle or a circle painted around one of their control points. The next color on there, this one's kind of important, it's your electricity. Now, a lot of times, electricity is going to be like 3 red dashes in a row, symbolizing that it's a 3-phase, a triple phase. The next one is the yellow. That's going to be your gas, but it's also gaseous material. So it could be steam, it could be, petroleum type gas, oil, or anything like that. And then orange is telecommunications. So that's your phone lines, your cable TV, fiber optic. The next one, the blue, that's your drinking water. Purple, you don't see that one a whole lot, but that's any kind of water coming out of like a pond or a lake or anything like that that's not treated drinking water. It's just water. And then last on there is your green for your sewers and drain lines and stuff. So let's take a look here. Now, this is outside of our shop, and this is a fiber optic line that I went ahead and marked. And we're going to talk about tolerances. And here's another little card that came from the 811. Now, it's not exact. These locates are good, but they're not 100% exact. So they give you a tolerance zone. Now, this is pretty much for your heavy machinery, your mini excavators or whatever. Whenever you get into that tolerance zone, you're going to want to hand dig it and find that line, because that line could be off to one side or the other. The other thing they're telling you here is you got to take in account the size of the utility, the actual size of the conduit or the box or the pipe or whatever's down there. And then it's going to be 24 inches either side of that. Now, for us in residential plumbing, most of the time they don't give us a size, but if this was a bigger project and we had some much larger conduits and stuff, they would give us those sizes. So we're going to call this one a 6-inch fiber optic conduit. And our tolerance for our hand digging is going to be 24 inches. So we have to take that 6-inch and go 3 inches either side, which gives us 27. So your 27 inches off that mark is the tolerance zone as to where that actual utility could be. And that's where guys mess up and they get too close.
The purpose of hand digging is to actually get a visual confirmation of where that line is in the ground. Now, this mark could be off, so when we get close to it, we're going to want to hand dig. And the best way to do that is just to start with a little trench and work your way across the line. Now, you're not going to dig a great big old hole. You're just going to dig a little line across, and then you're going to dig it again until you get deeper and deeper and deeper until you actually find that line. Now, everything's going to be in a conduit, so don't worry about getting hit with anything. But that's it. Don't kill yourself out there. All right, well, that's going to conclude this video that's pretty much geared toward our actual excavators, the guys who are actually out there in the field. Just remember that tolerance zone. That line is not always going to be directly under that paint mark. The equipment those guys use to locate, yes, it's gotten a lot better over the years, but they have that tolerance zone. So it could be over here, it could be over there. Just when you start getting close to them, hand dig it, find that line, visually find that line, and then you can be as brave as you want to be on your little mini excavator. We want to be safe around those things. We don't want to damage any of those stuff because we don't want to get hurt. We don't want to disrupt anybody's power. We don't want to shoot giant blue balls out of the ditch, which I've seen that before too. I encourage you to get a hold of your local 811. I'm here in South Carolina. I called these guys and they sent me a whole bunch of stickers. They sent me these little books that tell you the whole process about how to call them, how to open tickets. They sent me a bunch of these little cards that tells me the colors, and they sent me a little pamphlet, which is basically where some of those pictures came from that I used earlier in the video. Great people. They'll send you a lot of cool stuff. But thanks, guys. Be safe out there.